Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a discontinued subwoofer called the Solitaire 10 from Sunfire. So the history on Sunfire is it was founded in 1994 by Bob Carver. So Bob Carver is a legendary amplifier designer, and he founded two other companies that I can think of. So Phase Linear, which some of you might be familiar with, and then he also founded another company called Carver, after Bob Carver. And then in 94, as I said, he founded Sunfire. Now Sunfire, they make more than just subwoofers, so they made amplifiers and probably still make, and speakers, like ribbon tweeter speakers, before it was cool. This is, as I mentioned, is a discontinued model from Sunfire. So there's still a company that's making products, but it was sold and is now owned by another company. This product is a wonderful piece that I bought used, and I love it. It's great. But you know, you might be able to find these around somewhere. It originally sold for about $1,500. And I buy it for about $300 to $400 used. And it has a 10-inch woofer on it. It's about 11 inches cubed, and it has a 1200 watt amplifier built into the back. So the idea here is it's a completely sealed subwoofer, and it's a pretty massive motor structure inside. So you have to use a lot of power to get it to move. So not super efficient, but very tight. And so it's pretty small, and I just wanted to have this broken CD case to give some scale. So just toss that one over there. Subwoofer weighs about 40 pounds. Okay, on the back we have all of our normal suspects. So we've got our volume control, we have our bypass crossover here, and then we have our phase knob and our 12-volt triggers. We have RCA outs so that you could say daisy chain some subs. You have RCA ins, so this is just, you know, like you could take a home theater output, plug it in here, or if your stereo or preamp has that. You also have XLR outs, and then you have line level input, so you can run speaker wire into it to send signal over and then run it over to your speakers. So in case you didn't have RCA outputs on your stereo. We also have our power switch, which is nice. Some of the Sunfire subs that I've had didn't have a power switch. They just auto turned on and off. And then here we have a automatic equalizer, which is kind of a cool thing for it to do. The issue is that I don't have the microphone for this sub, so I haven't used it yet, but I do plan on trying to get this all sorted. The great thing is, once again, this subwoofer blends super well with the speakers that I have, so I haven't found it very difficult to sort of match it with my mains. Setup with this subwoofer is really great. The reason being is that it's so small, so you can put it in a lot of different places. So underneath the table, and an end table or something in a living room, fit it behind the speakers, in between, next to your cabinet. There's a lot more space saving places that you can put this rather than those larger subs. Now, it's not going to compete with some giant SVS or PSA subwoofer, so you're also not going to get the same kind of sound out of that. But we'll get into sound later on in the review. This sub goes great with music in the sense that it is very tight. It can go down to about 18 hertz. I've not measured it, but basically based on the spec sheets, this is what it's specifying. But I have found that it goes down low. I don't find that I want for any lower bass. I get all the audible range. Obviously there's not a lot of music that goes down below 20 hertz, except for some organ music and things like that, which I don't listen to a ton of. But what's great is it starts and stops on a dime. There's not a lot of bloat. You're not hearing port chuffing or any of that stuff with this subwoofer, which is pretty great. And I will say that, yeah, it has all the power and the sound that I need it to do. So when you're pairing it with speakers, an important piece is to make sure that the subwoofer blends well with your speakers, especially for music. And what I found is that these sealed subs really do a great job of blending in and just making notes instead of you know, those kind of boomy sounds that some of the cheaper, larger subs will do. And because of the power built into the amplifier, it allows it to take complete control over the driver itself and keep it from getting out of hand. Who doesn't love just a video showing the Excursion on the woofer? So let's check that out now.
Got me running in circles around you to please, yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage.
So next I want to play you a little demo. The idea being I want to play speakers and a sub and then just speakers. I feel like even though we're talking about YouTube compression, you're still going to hear a difference. Assuming that you're using mid-level decent headphones and or you're playing it back through your system, you'll be able to hear more notes when it's with the sub versus without. Even through YouTube, you'll be able to hear the difference. So what do you guys think? Do you use subs? Do you think you should use a sub? What's the scenario where you shouldn't and maybe where you should? I'm personally of the mind that you should use a sub almost all the time because they add those lower notes that you don't get otherwise. And then if you're using a good sub, which is a key part of the equation, if you're using a good sub, you'll hear those extra notes without overtaking your speakers when you properly blended them in with the crossover and the volume knob. So what do you think? Well, thanks a lot, guys. I have a exciting kind of review that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. But if you found this video informative or helpful, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Even through YouTube. Dang it.